You've been lied to about self-growth your whole life. Most advice keeps you small, trapped in fear and repetition. Your mind obeys old patterns while your true power waits silently in the quantum field. This video unlocks spiritual awakening with the I Am frequency. Will show you how to seize that hidden force and rewrite your reality. 10 chapters will break every limitation, awaken I Am power, release inner blocks, embody awareness, speak I Am to transform, enter infinite flow, radiate love, anchor rituals, reframe your stories, walk fearless and live constant renewal. Every practice is designed to hack your mind-body energy system. You will feel it immediately. Stay until the end. Subscribe to this quantum audiobook channel now to access the secrets they don't want you to know and step fully into your awakened self. Number 1. Awaken the I Am power and feel eternal strength. Open your eyes inward and feel how the word I Am already hums beneath your skin, and in that simple hum, notice a shift, because the phrase is not just grammar, it is a living gate. It is the smallest deliberate point where your mind and your field meet, and when you learn to stand at that gate, your nervous system remembers strength. Breathe slow and place attention on the center of your chest. Feel the subtle lift, the tiny warmth, the way the air moves through your ribs, and know that this is the first doorway to eternal strength. This chapter is an invitation to wake that doorway, not as an idea but as a muscle to be trained to be a voice that rewires habit and body in daily living. The first step is physical posture, because consciousness follows alignment. Stand or sit tall now. Press your feet into the floor. Feel weight distribute through heels and the ball of each foot. Imagine a straight line from the base of your spine up through the crown of your head. Let your shoulders soften back, not rigid but dignified. Allow the sternum to open like a small door, and feel how open spine equals open presence. When the body is aligned, the inner voice that says I Am finds a clear channel to deliver energy to your cells. Practice this posture immediately upon waking and whenever tension clips your field. Next, bring breath into coherence, because breath is the bridge between thought and body. Inhale counting 4, hold for 2, exhale counting 6, and repeat 3 times. On the exhale, feel the release of contraction, and on the inhale, silently say I Am as you match the rhythm of breath to the phrase, and notice how saying I Am on the inhale seeds your system with possibility, while releasing on the exhale erases resistance. Build this simple anchor into morning and midday moment. Over days, the nervous system begins to recognize I Am as a safety signal, and the body opens into steadier resilience rather than fight or freeze. Words matter, but feeling matters more. When you speak I Am, let the phrase carry texture. Say I Am present, and feel the weight of presence in your belly. Say I Am capable, and notice which muscles tighten and which relax. If doubt appears, do not argue with it. Instead, place a hand where tension lives and breathe into the area while continuing the phrase. The body will often correct language faster than the mind. Use 3 micro declarations each morning, 3 mid-afternoon and 3 before bed. Keep them short, present tense, affirmative and believable to you. Believability is not a limit. It is a bridge. If I am worthy feels too far, begin with I Am learning and feel how the truth of learning steadily shifts the nervous system toward worth. Create a small ritual that signals commitment to the frequency. This ritual need not be elaborate. It could be standing at the window with a glass of water, placing 1 palm on the crown of your head and 1 palm over your heart, and whispering 3 I Am statements while moving your attention through the body. The water is a conductor, and your palms are a tuning fork. Drink the water slowly, imagining each sip amplifying the phrase. Rituals anchor neural changes because they use repeated sensory cues, and the brain loves patterns. Over time, the pattern becomes a shortcut to deeper states. Language shifts the brain, but movement carries the message into tissue. Practice a 2-minute movement sequence where each motion completes an I Am statement. Start with a gentle overhead stretch. Inhale and say I Am open. Then hinge to the hips. Exhale and say I Am grounded. Then rotate the torso. Inhale and say I Am steady. Movement integrates intention into fascia and muscle. A 5-minute daily body practice wakes memory beyond the mind and plants the frequency into the living architecture of your presence. Invest attention in noticing the stories that contradict I Am statement. When fear or smallness speaks, notice the name of the story without shame. Observe its rhythm and origin, and then use a specific immediate swap. If a thought arises saying I am not enough, pause, label the thought as a story, and then respond with a short embodied correction, such as stand tall, press feet, and say I Am learning. Repeat 3 times with breath and movement. This pattern of witnessing, naming, and swapping is a practical form of inner discipline that rewires pathways without force. It honors the past while creating new neural grooves. Use sensory anchors to deepen resonance. Choose a simple scent, an essential oil, or a grounding smell like cedar or citrus that you can pair with the I am practice. Each time you inhale the scent, consciously repeat your I am phrase and allow the smell to become a fast pathway into the field of coherence. The nose is direct to memory centers, so this anchor accelerates conditioning. A different anchor can be used for the evening practice, perhaps warm tea. Over weeks, these sensory signatures will trigger immediate shifts in state. Write 3 lines every evening that begin with I am, and record how the day responded. Keep the sentences short and concrete. For example, I am learning to hold boundaries. I am allowing rest between tasks. I am choosing voice over fear. Writing captures pattern into language and into time. It also acts as a mirror, so the truth of your day lines up with your chosen frequency. This practice is not about perfection but about fidelity to the process. The discipline of daily recording self-aligns habit and identity. Create a small community of accountability, even if it is just one other person or a short check-in with yourself at 3 set times of the week. Share one I am statement out loud or in text and report one small shift. Accountability amplifies intention because it moves desire into action through social reality. Avoid over-explaining outcomes. Focus on practice and evidence of being. The quantum principle here is coherence between inner state and outer signal. When thought, word, and action align, the field responds with facilitation. Cultivate the capacity to hold paradox because awakening grows in the between. You can be tender and strong, uncertain, indecisive, curious, and committed all at once. When resistance appears, notice it as information rather than enemy. The inner friction points directly to where the I am frequency needs more tending. Use the friction as a map. Do not let it become a verdict. Gentle attention combined with disciplined action moves what feels stuck. Bring curiosity to limits. Ask one sharp, practical question when a limiting pattern appears. Where in the body do I feel this belief? What earliest memory repeats it? What small test could prove another possibility? Design a small experiment you can complete in 24 hours that challenges the limiting belief. If a voice says you are not seen, then offer a brief, visible action that seeks appropriate recognition, such as speaking a concise truth in a meeting or sending a short message that expresses need. Record the outcome and then speak an I am statement that aligns with the new evidence. Small experiments collapse old probabilities and expand your felt reality. Practice presence when performing tasks. The I am frequency is not a detached thought, and it is not constant speech. It is a direct presence that affects how you move through ordinary life. When washing dishes, breathe and say I am present. Notice the sensation of water, the sound of plates, the rhythm of the breath. When answering an email, pause one breath and say I am clear before you write. These micro moments of alignment multiply into days and then months, and the field begins to reconfigure around new coherent patterns. Use sensory visualization to amplify effect. Close the eyes, breathe deep, and picture a soft, luminous field forming around your heart with each I am repetition. See the light expand a few inches with every breath until it reaches your throat and then your hands and then beyond your skin. Feel the subtle warmth and pressure and allow that feeling to inform posture and tone in the next minutes of your day. Visualization tied to sensation trains the autonomic nervous system, not only the mind. Honor rest as strength. The I am frequency is not produced by constant production, it is cultivated in rhythm. Build 3 short pauses into your day, 5 minutes each, where you sit quiet with hands on the heart and whisper I am present. These pauses are not empty, they recharge coherence. Treat them as skill training and watch how your capacity to meet difficulty increases. Lean into emotional clarity by naming feelings aloud while anchored in the I am phrase. When grief arrives, say I am grieving and place the hand on the chest. Notice pulse and allow the body to move with the feeling. Naming reduces fusion with emotion and creates space for choice. When anger arises, say I am angry and then follow the breath until the edge softens. The aim is not to eliminate feeling but to release unconscious reactivity and anchor responses in presence and discernment. Finally, commit to a 30-day fidelity test. For 30 consecutive days, practice 3 micro-declarations morning, midday, and evening, plus 1 2-minute movement sequence and 1 evening 3-line journaling ritual. Keep a simple log even if it is a check mark. 30 days is not about perfection, it is about building neural tissue for a new identity. After 30 days, review the notes and notice how vocabulary has shifted, how posture has changed, how small experiments unfolded. Celebrate the evidence, not the idea. Finish by placing both hands on the center of the chest. Close the eyes if comfortable, feel the heartbeat and breathe slowly. Say aloud or silently, I am present, I am learning, I am steady, and feel each phrase resonate through muscle and bone. Breathe in strength and breathe out contractive thought. Rise with your spine intact, with discipline and tenderness combined, and carry the frequency lightly into the day. This practice is not a badge. It is a becoming. The more you align breath, body, word, and action, the more the field will rearrange to hold your growth. Each small moment of fidelity coalesces into lasting change, and the phrase "I am" will grow from a sentence into the living ground, from which resilience and transformation naturally emerge. Number 2. Claim your true self and release hidden inner limits. A soft current moves beneath daily life, and when attention turns inward, that current reveals the simple, unargued fact that who you are is far larger than the stories that have been stitched onto your edges. Max Planck wrote, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." And when that truth settles, it becomes clear that claiming your true self is not an act of ego, but a correction of perception. Start by pausing and feeling the breadth of your attention as if it were an open palm. The world presses into your hand and you are allowed to choose what to hold. Notice the habitual narrowness, the quick small voice that says "stay safe," invisible or quiet, and hold that voice gently in awareness without giving it more energy. The first claim is simple and direct. Say softly to your inner ear, "I am here," and allow the phrase to be a felt note, not only a thought. Hear how the tone changes the shape of your body. The jaw unclenches, the ribs soften, and the shoulders drop into a new register of availability. Find a mirror and look without planning a smile or rehearsing a line. Just look with the kind of curiosity that a child offers to a new flower. See the face as a map of survival strategies, and underneath that map, the original unprogrammed you still breathes. Speak one honest "I am" to the reflection, for example, "I am whole now," or "I am deserving of clarity," and watch the subtle recalibration in the eye. The mirror is not vanity. It is a technology of recognition. Repeat this practice 5 mornings in a row and record small shifts. The brain holds evidence, and when the data of daily attention stacks, the habit of identification will begin to tilt. Move into small, precise tests that meet limits in doable ways. Identify one hidden rule that runs you, for example, people-pleasing or shrinking to avoid conflict. Choose a micro-test that is uncomfortable but safe, such as saying no once within 24 hours to a request that you would previously accommodate automatically. Stand with feet grounded. Place a hand at the heart and make the refusal concise, gentle, and anchored. Note the sensations before, during, and after. Reality will often respond with more acceptance than fear predicted. Use the outcome to update the inner map. And then state an "I am" claim that corresponds to the new evidence, such as "I am allowed to choose my time." These micro-experiments are the quantum laboratories of personal change, because they create new probabilities that the body and field can learn from. Language shapes internal architecture, so refine the words you use about yourself to reflect possibility rather than punishment. Replace "I am broken" with "I am learning to repair." Replace "I always fail" with "I am practicing success in small steps." Keep 3 phrases in your pocket that feel both expansive and credible, and speak them quietly before threshold moments like meetings or difficult conversation. The voice that names possibility rewires perceived limits faster than analysis alone. Tune the body with clear textures of breath and movement that unhook stuck patterns. Instead of long sitting sessions, use short energetic resets. Stand and place hands on the lower ribs. Breathe into those hands and exhale while softening the belly. Say "I am" steady on exhale. Then sway gently from side to side until the edges of tension loosen. Add a quick bright motion, such as lifting the arms on an inhale and vocalizing a single syllable on the exhale, so the sound moves through bone and tissue. Sound unlocks neural knots, and motion integrates new narratives into muscle memory. Do this sequence 3 times mid-morning and 3 times mid-afternoon. Create a visible boundary ritual for your personal field. Choose an object or a small motion that marks your interior territory, like raising a hand over the heart, or touching a ring on the finger, and pairing that action with a clear sentence: "Now I choose what enters my field." Use the ritual before work calls, social interactions, and creative tasks. Over time, the object or motion becomes a quick sensory switch that protects attention and conserves energy for what truly matters. Invite the unfinished parts into conversation instead of exile. Place a pen to paper and write a short letter from the part that hides its gifts for fear of being judged. Ask it what it wants and what it fears, and then write a brief response from your current adult self, offering a small step towards safety. This dialogue is practical because it translates vague resistance into clear next moves. It moves shame out of the driver's seat and gives the nervous system a plan. Curiosity is the engine of release. When an old pattern appears, ask 3 precise questions. Where did this begin? What does it want? And what is one small test to contradict it? Keep the questions quick and action-oriented. The brain prefers experiments, not indefinite analysis. Design the test to take under 24 hours and then observe outcomes without narration. The data will either support the old belief or provide a crack where new possibility enters. Use the senses as allies to reclaim identity. Choose a sound, a taste, and a texture that feel like expansion for you and weave them into daily life. Play a brief song in the morning that you associate with clarity. Sip a tea that tastes like permission, and wear a fabric that reminds you of strength. Sensory cues are fast pathways into the felt sense of who you are, and they compile into a reservoir of embodied confidence. Shift habitual social patterns with one honest boundary set each week. The aim is not to confront for effect, but to practice alignment in ordinary context. Start with low stakes and escalate only as comfort increases. Tide your courage with a restorative action afterwards, like a short walk, a warm hand over the heart, or writing a line that acknowledges your effort. This builds a feedback loop where action leads to internal recalibration, which leads to greater action. Reshape time through micro-commitments that the nervous system can trust. Promise yourself 3 minutes of undistracted alignment before work and honor it daily. In those minutes, sit quietly, breathe deep, and say, "I am capable," while feeling the word as a sensation centered around the belly and chest. The brain learns trust from repeated small promises kept. Fidelity matters more than intensity. 10 short, consistent behaviors will outrun one dramatic effort. Practice compassionate truth-telling to the body. When intrusive shame tells you to vanish, translate that shame into a sentence, and then offer the body a tangible comfort like a warm shower, a short walk, or a nourishing snack. The body is not an enemy, it carries messages. Listening with action honors it, and weakens the control of old limiting patterns. Engage the field of others deliberately. Share one small vulnerability with someone who has shown capacity to hold it, and keep the ask light. The social field has corrective power when chosen sites are safe. Feedback that matches reality and offers clear support acts like a mirror and a compass at once. Protect against habitual venting that replays the story without invitation for change. Cultivate a daily ritual for evidence collection. Each evening, note one small thing that happened which supports a new claim about yourself, even if the moment is tiny. For instance, someone heard you when you spoke, or you chose rest instead of more busyness. Record the details, not the interpretation. Evidence is the architecture on which identity rebuilds. Rest as practice is essential. Schedule short regenerative pauses and treat them as essential tasks. A 15-minute closed-eye pause after lunch or a brief mindful walk in the late afternoon helps consolidate learning and prevents reactivity. Rest is the field where integration occurs. Anchor transformation in gratitude that is specific and sensory. Each night, name one small detail that surprised you and trace the sensation in the body. Gratitude that is concrete and felt accelerates neuroplasticity and opens channels for greater possibility. Finish each day with a simple closure ceremony that signals to your system that the day is complete. It can be washing the face, placing a hand on the chest, and whispering 3 I am lines that resonate with truth, such as "I am enough for tonight," "I am allowed to grow," "I am present to learn." These lines should be different from earlier phrases and reflect the day, not a script. Over time, the ceremony becomes a hinge between days and the self that belongs to your future. The work of claiming and releasing is iterative, not instant. Treat the process like apprenticing to a new language. Frequent small practice builds skill and turns choice into habit. The field responds when your inner architecture updates, and in time the outer world will offer new matching. Walk forward with steady attention, courageous experiments, and tender self-maintenance, and watch as internal limits soften and your truer shape steps into living daylight. Number 3. Align with present energy and embody pure awareness. A thin, clear signal runs beneath the noise of doing, and when attention slides into that signal, everything sharpens and breathes differently. Albert Einstein said reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one, and when that idea settles, it becomes possible to approach presence as a practical technology, rather than an abstract ideal. Start by softening the edges of doing, and allow the body to become a receptive instrument. Sit where your spine can be both alive and comfortable. Feel the subtle support beneath your sit bones. Notice the tiny temperature differences on your skin, and let those small facts be the anchors for attention. Presence grows where curiosity rests, not where force is applied. So approach your inner field with a friendly, steady gaze. Shift from thinking about being present into noticing how presence appears inside the body. Scan from the back of the throat down through the heart, into the belly, and notice the feeling that first registers without naming it. Sense may be vague at first, and that is perfect, because presence is more felt than explained. When an image or a thought distracts you, do not push it away. Instead, watch it pass like weather, and return to the micro-sensation. Each return is a strengthening of the capacity to hold now. Refine breath into a simple rhythm that supports clarity without demanding strength. Breathe in naturally for a count that feels comfortable. Then breathe out slightly longer, and let silence hang for a breath or two between cycles. Allow the pause to be a small doorway, where the field reorganizes and resists the urge to perform. Over days, the nervous system will learn that pause equals safety, and presence will become less effortful and more habitual. Bring the sense of listening into the practice. Close the eyes and orient attention to sound, as if hearing for the first time. Notice distant layers and close small textures within the room and outside it, and let sound become a map that dissolves time. Awareness that listens is not the same as awareness that judges. In this listening presence there is space for things to move without reaction, and that spaciousness is the ground of pure clarity. Use touch like a tuning device. Place one palm softly on the belly and one palm over the heart, and feel how the contact changes where attention lives. Small pressure and simple warmth create a channel for sensation to deepen and for thought to settle. Keep the contact for a minute, and breathe through the hands and notice any changes in tone or rhythm. The body will often reveal what the mind obscures, and these small tactile experiments become direct practice in embodiment. Practice a 4-minute walking alignment, where each step matches a quality of presence. Walk with a measured softness. Notice the contact of foot to ground, the lift and place the tiny swing of the leg, and breathe in rhythm with movement. Let each step be a statement of simple being rather than a rush toward the next thing. Walking becomes a powerful laboratory because motion integrates awareness into limbs and organizes thought into serviceable patterns. Refine the language of thought by testing minimal declarative phrases that do not inflate self-image. Choose statements like "I am here now," or "I am awake to this moment," and let them be felt rather than exaggerated. Say them quietly in the mind once, and then observe whether the body responds with an internal steadiness. If the words feel hollow, shorten them further until the phrase matches the felt truth. The aim is not to manufacture conviction, but to provide a consistent verbal support that the nervous system recognizes as true. Turn ordinary activities into presence practice. While washing your hands, pay attention to the coolness of water, the sound it makes, and the way your fingers move, and let the activity be full and undistracted. While eating, focus on texture, taste, and chew, and notice how much of life is recovered when attention is integrated into the body. Presence is not separate from action. It is the quality with which action is enacted, and when ordinary tasks hold presence, they become portals, not chores. Design tiny evidence-based experiments to test your relationship with time. Choose one simple task and do it with total attention for exactly 5 minutes, and track how the felt experience differs from when the same task is done distracted. Record sensory details afterwards and these short tests provide undeniable data that presence changes quality and helps shift belief into embodied knowing rather than abstract hope. Practice naming sensations without adding narrative. When anxiety visits, describe it as a pressure or a prickling or a tightness, and stop there. Do not layer interpretation about what the sensation means or who caused it. The mind wants to weave stories quickly, but presence thrives on simple description. The act of naming separates feeling from identity and creates a functional gap where choice can occur. Cultivate the ability to rest inside attention. Find moments in the day to stop looking for outcomes and simply be. Sit for 3 quiet minutes. Put the hands loosely in the lap, and let the body breathe itself, and watch how thoughts keep wanting permission to run. Do not grant them permission and do not chase them away. Let them pass and return to the breath or to a small sensory detail like the weight of the head. These rests are not passive. They are active rehearsals of centeredness. Use the breath to translate presence into clear energetic boundary. When interactions feel draining, take one full breath inward, contract slightly, and exhale with a soft internal statement. I return to center, and then continue. This micro technique reclaims field and avoids escalation into reactivity. Over time, it builds a private resilience that requires no drama. Engage the eyes as a tool for inner quiet. Practice soft gaze by lowering the eyelids slightly and unfocusing for a count of 10. While breathing slowly, the reduction of visual tension sends a calming signal to the brain and expands access to inner state. Reopen the eyes slowly and observe the subtle shift in clarity and patience that follows. Bring the heart into inquiry by asking one lightly held question when confusion arises. Where does this want to move me? And wait for an impression rather than a detailed answer. The first impression is usually bodily and not verbal. Follow that indicator like a compass and test it in small action. The field will often provide a softer directional nudge when the mind stops demanding certainty. Anchor presence with a short evening review practice that is sensory and specific. Before bed, name 2 moments from the day that felt grounded and describe them in terms of what you saw, heard, and felt. Keep the review brief and concrete, and avoid moralizing. This practice trains attention toward noticing success and clarifies the path forward, without harsh judgment. Invite spacious curiosity into relationships by practicing 1 minute of undivided listening. When someone speaks, allow their words to land without preparing a reply. Simply notice tone, rhythm, and meaning, and then mirror back the essence of what was said. This kind of listening shifts the quality of connection and models presence in social fields. It also returns to you the experience of being fully together, which strengthens your own center. Develop a gentle protocol for technology use that preserves awareness. Before opening a device, pause for 1 breath and set a clear intention for purpose and time. When the device closes, take another breath to notice the effect. Repeated tiny pauses between attention leaps protect the nervous system from fragmentation and create a consistent thread of presence across the day. Practice gratitude as an embodied recognition, not a list of good things. Close the eyes and rest a hand on the heart, and feel appreciation as a physical warmth. Then let that warmth circulate outward through the limbs and into the space around the body. Gratitude that is felt amplifies coherence more than gratitude that is merely named. Cultivate endurance for discomfort by practicing presence during low-level stressors. When waiting in line or stuck in traffic, use the time to breathe and note sensations rather than darting to mental complaint. Over time, these small tolerances expand capacity for attention and reduce reactive loss of clarity in higher stakes moments. Set a weekly anchor hour where productivity and entertainment are turned down and simple being is invited. Use that hour for slow reading, sitting outdoors, or quiet movement, and treat it as an essential appointment. Regularly scheduled presence deepens the overall tone of the week and compounds into long-term shift. Finish each day with a short, gentle hand gesture that signals closure to the system. Place the fingertips lightly together, breathe through the center, and silently acknowledge 1 small lesson of the day. The gesture should be brief, not ornate, and it serves as a hinge, making the boundary between days clear to nervous systems that learn by repetition. Presence is the simplest radical practice, and consistent repetition is its engine. Build tiny, reliable habits, honor small evidence, and allow awareness to become your steady companion. And with gentle persistence, the field will recompose and the ordinary day will reveal its depth. Number 4. Speak I am daily and activate quantum transformation. Speak the words I am and notice how the room listens before your mind does. Richard Feynman observed that if you think you understand quantum mechanics, you do not understand quantum mechanics. And that reminder opens a door here. Because the power of speaking I am is less about logic and more about altering probability through consistent vibration. Begin with a single clear syllable spoken aloud and feel the small physical echo in the chest, the way sound presses on bone and tissue and reminds the nervous system of safety. Use 3 different volumes in one session: a whisper, a steady spoken tone, and a resonant hum, so the phrase moves from skin into bone and creates layered feedback inside the body. These 3 layers of sound build a living signal that the field can detect and align with. Train the voice like an instrument by choosing 1 microphrase that matters and repeating it with intention. Keep the phrase short, present tense and tangible. For example, I am present, I am clear, or I am capable, and make sure each repeat is accompanied by a deliberate breath pattern. Inhale fully for a count that feels natural, then speak on the exhale and let a soft pause follow, so the body settles into the new information. Over time, the nervous system will begin to associate the vocal vibration with calm, centered attention. And this association is the engine of transformation. Use resonance mapping to locate where the phrase lands in your body. After speaking I am, place your hands lightly over the chest and abdomen, and observe warmth, tingling, or pressure, and label the sensation without story. If the sound seems to sit high in the throat, adjust pitch downward until more fullness appears in the chest. If the phrase feels tinny, raise the volume gently until you feel a supported vibration. Small adjustments refine how the declaration rewires muscular and autonomic pattern. Pair declarations with movement that completes a cycle of intention and release. Stand with feet hip distance, breathe in. Lift the arms and on the exhale speak I am and lower the hands to the heart. Inhaling widens possibility, spoken sound anchors it. And bringing the hands to heart completes neural loops that tie intention to somatic memory. Repeat the sequence 5 times. And notice how action plus sound far outperforms either alone. Design a morning triad ritual that is short, direct, and repeatable. Open the day with 3 spoken lines, 1 for presence, 1 for capacity, and 1 for consent to change. Keep each line under 5 words, and after the third line pause and place the palm over the sternum to feel integration. The triad takes less than 2 minutes, but its cumulative effect stacks like small deposits into a new identity account. Speak declarations into plain evidence, not vague wish. Instead of "I am powerful," choose "I am steady." When I speak, because steadiness is measurable in breath rate, posture, and response to stress. Design each sentence so you can test it in a simple daily action. If the claim is "I am steady," then see if you can hold your composure in a minor frustration and record success. Evidence closes the gap between wishful thinking and practical change. Use spoken "I am" as a tool for reclaiming language from old stories. When a self-critical voice rises, interrupt it with a grounded, audible sentence that challenges the narrative, like "I am learning boundaries now," or "I am allowed to receive help." The audible interruption works because the field responds to new signals faster than internal debate. Make the interruption crisp, concise, and repeat it until the critical loop loses momentum. Create a vocal notebook where you record 1-minute audio clips of yourself speaking a chosen "I am" line every morning. Listen back once a week, and note differences in tone, cadence, and confidence. The recordings serve as measurable milestones and also as a compassionate mirror showing progress in voice and presence. Hearing yourself evolve is a powerful motivator and a practical method for altering neural pathways tied to self-image. Explore the physics of vibration by using sound to dislodge tension. Place a cup of water on a table, speak a long resonant "I am" near the cup, and watch the water's surface microchange. This small sensory experiment demonstrates that voice influences matter, and it trains attention to the real-time effects of vibration. Use the experiment to remind yourself that your voice affects not only inner states but also external cues. Integrate "I am" into micro-pause practices throughout the day so it becomes a structural habit rather than an occasional prayer. Before entering meetings, pauses, or meals, inhale for 2 count, then speak 1 "I am" line on the exhale. The small cadence keeps you rooted and prevents the energy drain caused by reactivity. The micro-pause also signals to others a different operating system and often changes the tone of interactions without debate. Respect the edge between intention and ego by naming motive before speaking. Pause and ask silently, is this declaration for alignment or to prove something? If proof-seeking is present, adjust the phrase to a version that serves growth rather than defense, such as "I am learning" instead of "I am perfect." This honesty preserves authenticity and prevents declarations from becoming armor that isolates rather than opens. Use breath-anchored phonation to recalibrate the autonomic nervous system in moments of stress. When tension spikes, take a long, steady inhale, then use the exhale to speak a grounding "I am" phrase and follow with a silent, slow count of 3. The spoken exhale slows heart rate and the silent count extends parasympathetic activation. Repeating this pattern 3 times rapidly shifts the system from reactive to coherent. Invite other senses into the declaration practice to deepen imprint. Light a candle or hold a smooth stone in the palm as you speak "I am" phrases, and notice how the tactile or visual cue fast-tracks integration. Over time, a chosen object becomes an implicit reminder and requires only a glance to bring the body into session. Sensory anchors are practical accelerants for conditioning the field. Experiment with social declarations as a way to align relational fields. In safe contexts, practice saying an "I am" line, and then asking a trusted person to reflect what they heard or felt. This external feedback provides data about how your statement lands beyond your inner perception and can reveal blind spots while also strengthening relational coherence. Keep the experiment simple and offer gratitude for honest reflection. Approach journaling as a 2-part process where voice and paper meet. After a vocal practice, spend 5 minutes noting what changed in posture, breath, or mood. Record small factual items rather than analysis, for example, voice steadier or heartbeat slower. After practice, the short reflection grounds shifts into observable patterns and creates a map for refining future declarations. Apply the principle of amplitude modulation to intention by varying pace, intensity, and tone across contexts. Not every declaration needs full resonance. Sometimes a quiet whispered "I am" before sleep carries more weight than a loud morning chant. Learning to modulate prevents habituation and keeps the frequency alive and responsive. Respect rest as part of transformation. Schedule 2 short recovery windows after intense vocal practice where silence and hydration follow sound. Drink water to support tissue recovery and sit quietly to integrate the recalibrated feel. Over time, the alternation between expression and nourishment becomes an efficient rhythm that sustains deeper change. Anchor transformation with serviceable commitments that extend beyond language. Choose one monthly action that tests the new identity, such as speaking up for a small need or offering a concise boundary, and then use daily "I am" work to support the courage for that action. The field rewrites faster when speech is followed by measurable behavior. Practice gratitude directed at voice itself. At the end of the day, put a hand over the throat and offer thanks for the capacity to shape experience through sound. Acknowledge small improvements and rest in the sense of continuity between practice and life. This gratitude closes sessions with appreciation and fosters a steady feedback loop of growth. Keep curiosity as the operating tone. When a declaration does not feel true, resist judgment and explore why with one short experiment rather than a long critique. Curiosity opens possibilities faster than pressure and preserves momentum. With patient repetition, the daily habit of speaking I am moves from technique to identity, and the quantum probabilities of your life begin to shift in subtle, tangible ways. Number 5. Embrace silence within and enter timeless infinite flow. Sit quietly and notice how the space between thoughts feels as if it were a place waiting to be discovered. For in that void the universe already whispers. Deepak Chopra once said, in the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you, and when that truth lands, it becomes obvious that silence is not absence but a living conduit for flow. Begin by closing your eyes and letting your attention rest gently on the point between your eyebrows, feeling the faint pressure, the subtle warmth, the soft pulse of awareness that exists without effort. Let your spine lengthen naturally and notice the way gravity supports you, how the floor cradles your weight, and how that simple acknowledgement creates a foundation for the silent current to move. Every inhale is an invitation, every exhale a soft release, and the rhythm itself is an entryway to a deeper state. Notice how the mind seeks patterns, labels, and stories. Observe the effort to measure, to fix, to organize. Now allow these tendencies to pass like clouds across a sky. Do not chase them, do not suppress them, only watch and return attention to the quiet center. Each return builds a neural corridor where silence is recognized and becomes familiar, a terrain where your energy can expand without friction. This is where timeless flow begins, not in effort, not in doing, but in surrender to the present moment. Let the breath deepen without force, noticing the subtle expansion in the chest and belly. Imagine the air moving not only through your lungs but through the whole body, as if the entire organism inhales light and exhales tension. Place one hand gently on the heart and feel the connection between inner stillness and felt reality. Allow each pulse to remind you that life moves through you even when words are absent. The silence is not emptiness, it is the medium in which energy coheres and transforms. Expand awareness beyond the body. Notice sounds in the room or outside without judgment, allowing each to enter the field and leave without grasping. Feel the subtle vibrations of air, the micro shifts of temperature on skin, the faint resonance of movement in space. Recognize that all these sensations occur within the silent observer, and as you watch, the distinction between inner and outer begins to dissolve. You are not merely witnessing, you are participating in a vast field of ongoing creation. Practice micro pauses to anchor presence. Take one breath, notice the gap between exhale and next inhale, and linger there for 3 counts. With each pause, imagine that silence expanding like ripples on water, touching memory, thought, and emotion, smoothing edges and allowing clarity to emerge naturally. These micro-pauses are the daily practice that trains both the nervous system and the quantum field to recognize stillness as a primary state, not an interruption to activity. Incorporate gentle movement as a bridge between silence and action. Slowly lift the arms overhead with an inhale, stretch softly, then release on the exhale while maintaining awareness of the inner quiet. Feel how motion in the body does not disturb the silent flow but actually amplifies it, sending reverberations through muscles, fascia, and bone that harmonize with stillness. Observe how even small actions become an extension of presence when performed from the silent center. Use visualization to deepen the experience. Imagine a sphere of soft light forming at the center of your chest, expanding outward with each breath, enveloping the entire body, and extending beyond skin, creating a luminous field where past, present, and future coexist. Allow this sphere to rotate slowly, carrying away tension and doubt, leaving only a vibrant awareness of life in its most subtle form. The field responds not to imagination alone but to the congruence of sensation, attention, and surrender. Integrate silence into daily tasks. When washing dishes, feel the water and the plates without labeling, only noticing the texture, temperature, and sound. When walking, notice each footfall, the connection of soul to ground, the rhythm of the body in space. Let ordinary moments become vessels of silent awareness, transforming mundane routines into portals for continuous flow. The simplest action performed with full attention anchors the infinite in the finite. Cultivate subtle listening. Extend attention to conversations without immediately responding, noticing tone, cadence, and pauses. Sense the emotional current and allow your awareness to inhabit the space between words. In silence, communication shifts from reaction to resonance. Words matter less than the energy they carry, and your presence amplifies coherence in both your field and the collective field around you. Employ journaling as a reflective tool. After a period of silent practice, write down sensations, images, or subtle insights that arose without overanalyzing. Focus on capturing the felt sense, not the story. Observe patterns without judgment, noting moments when flow was easier and moments when it resisted. This reflection converts ephemeral awareness into a practical map, reinforcing habit while honoring the uniqueness of each session. Embrace discomfort within silence. Tension, restlessness, or boredom will inevitably arise. Instead of fleeing, bring attention to these sensations, allowing them to coexist with the silent observer. Name them gently, feeling the body's reaction without interpretation. This practice strengthens resilience, teaches the nervous system that presence is a safe harbor, and reveals how tension itself carries information that guides deeper alignment. Anchor flow with brief sound interventions. Chant, or speak a soft I am, as an exhale from the quiet center, feeling vibration through the chest and head. Observe how sound interacts with silence, how resonance amplifies awareness, and how the subtle feedback alters both internal state and surrounding energy. The interaction between sound and stillness deepens coherence, creating a living bridge between inner and outer dimension. Invite natural cycles of attention, alternate periods of intense focus with undirected awareness. Notice how the field expands when mental pressure is released. Recognize that flow is not continuous effort but arises spontaneously when resistance dissolves. Trust this natural rhythm and allow yourself to move within it, balancing engagement and rest, doing and non-doing, thought and sensation. Develop a nightly closure ritual. Before sleep, sit for 5 minutes, breathe naturally, and sense the body's boundaries dissolving into the field. Reflect on moments of flow experienced during the day without attachment, acknowledging subtle shifts in perception and energy. Place hands lightly on the chest and whisper 3 silent affirmations of presence, gratitude and openness, reinforcing integration of the silent current into your life. Notice how silence transforms perception over days. Colors may appear brighter, textures more nuanced, interactions carry subtler emotional tones, and internal chatter diminishes. The body learns that stillness is not stagnation. The mind discovers spaciousness is fertile, and awareness itself becomes a tool for navigation rather than a reactive surface. Flow emerges as a natural consequence of alignment with the silent field. Combine these practices into daily patterns that respect both commitment and ease. Begin with short sessions, gradually extending duration while observing internal signals. Let practice remain alive, adaptable and responsive, rather than rigid or performative. Over weeks, the quiet current becomes the background of life, and you begin to notice that even in action, the timeless infinite flow is already present, moving effortlessly, carrying clarity, and expanding energy beyond the boundaries of past habit. This silence is not emptiness, but a living, breathing, and dynamic force that integrates with every cell, thought, and movement. It is in this quiet expansion that true transformation occurs, where the I am frequency resonates beyond words, and where every action, breath, and perception aligns with the infinite rhythm of existence, revealing that the eternal flow has always been within, waiting for recognition and engagement. Number 6. Expand heart focus and radiate love through every breath. Place both hands gently over the heart, and feel the subtle rhythm pulsing beneath your palms, as if the body itself is whispering the language of connection. Deepak Chopra once said, "The heart is the bridge between the finite and the infinite," and when that awareness settles in, it becomes clear that focusing on the heart is less about emotion and more about aligning with the energy that flows through every cell. Breathe slowly and deeply into this space, noticing how the chest rises and falls, how warmth spreads beneath your palms, and how even small attention transforms subtle energy into an expansive field. With each inhale, draw awareness inward to the heart center, and with each exhale, allow the sense of love and openness to ripple outward, touching not only your body but the invisible field around you. Begin by sensing the boundaries of your heart space as though it were a balloon slowly expanding. With each breath, imagine the chest widening slightly, shoulders softening, and the back opening to accommodate this energy. Feel the blood, the microcurrents of warmth, the pulsing nerve endings that carry vitality. Your body remembers the pattern of openness when attention lingers with gentle focus, and these subtle cues train the nervous system to inhabit a state of expanded receptivity. The heart is not just an organ, it is an interface between intention and manifestation, and when it is consciously engaged, it radiates coherence. Allow gratitude to emerge naturally from this focus. Recall a small kindness, a soft smile from a stranger, or a quiet moment of connection, and place that memory into the center of your chest. Watch how the sensation morphs into warmth, into a lightness that does not depend on external validation. The field of the heart is self-sufficient when practiced correctly, and repeated attention builds an internal reservoir of love that can be drawn upon any time. Practice observing these feelings as they move, noticing texture, rhythm, and tone, and avoid labeling them with judgment. Simply feel them as energetic reality. Incorporate sound as a practice to amplify heart energy. On an inhale, silently say "I am open," and on an exhale, hum softly, feeling the vibration travel through the chest and into the surrounding space. Let the hum linger, noticing the resonance between intention and sensation. With consistent repetition, this simple combination of breath, focus, and sound becomes a tangible signal to the quantum field, shifting probability towards states that match coherence and love. This practice transforms the ordinary act of breathing into a deliberate tool of energetic alignment. Engage visualization to deepen the effect. Imagine a sphere of soft, radiant light forming at the heart center, expanding outward with every exhale, enveloping your entire body, and then extending beyond skin into the surrounding environment. Picture the light gently pulsing with every heartbeat, radiating warmth and vitality, flowing into the space around you without need for judgment or control. Each pulse is an expression of intention translated into energy, demonstrating that internal focus has immediate external consequences in subtle fields. Allow this visualization to remain dynamic, shifting with the rhythm of your body rather than becoming rigid or forced. Add intentional micro-actions throughout your day to support this focus. When passing someone in a hallway, imagine sending them a soft wave of warmth, or silently wish them ease and clarity. Notice how this act does not require words but carries measurable emotional energy that subtly shifts both your state and the environment. Small consistent gestures compound, reinforcing the practice and extending its influence without effort or fanfare. Each interaction becomes a laboratory for testing and refining the expansion of heart energy. Use tactile feedback to anchor presence. Place one hand on your sternum and one over your solar plexus, and imagine the inhale drawing energy from the lower abdomen into the chest. Exhale while visualizing energy radiating outward from the center in concentric waves. Feel the resonance in the skin, muscles, and subtle body, and allow the sensation to expand with curiosity and attention. This exercise trains both body and mind to recognize heart energy as a tangible, living signal rather than a metaphor. Integrate micro-meditations between activity. Before starting a new task, close your eyes for 30 seconds. Place hands over the chest, and repeat silently, "I am love. I am open." Sense the micro shifts in posture, breath, and emotional tone. These mini practices act as reset points for the nervous system, recalibrating attention and energy before engagement in work, conversation, or movement. Over time, these small pauses accumulate, and the field of influence radiating from your heart strengthens. Invite the edges of discomfort into your awareness without resisting them. Notice subtle tension, impatience, or irritation, and direct gentle attention to the heart center while breathing slowly. Visualize tension dissolving into light. Imagine it expanding outward and transforming into clarity. This process trains the body to convert energetic friction into coherent flow and strengthens resilience while maintaining compassion for yourself and others. Incorporate journaling as a reflective extension of the practice. After a session, note one or two sensations, micro-revelations, or shifts in perception without interpretation. Focus on felt experience, warmth, lightness, softness, or ease, and avoid stories or judgment. Over time, this log becomes a tangible record of energetic evolution and offers insight into patterns that support or inhibit heart expansion. Use the breath to intentionally modulate heart amplitude. Inhale for 4 counts, pause for 2, and exhale for 6 while maintaining focus on the center of the chest. Allow each exhale to carry a wave of energetic expansion, sensing subtle ripples through the body. The timing of breath, combined with conscious attention, trains the autonomic system to harmonize with the expanded state, rather than defaulting to tension or contraction. Engage relational practice to extend radiance. Before speaking or listening deeply, Bring awareness to the heart center and imagine the other person receiving energy of clarity, warmth, and patience. Observe subtle changes in posture, tone, and emotional response in both yourself and the person you interact with. Even silent presence imbued with intention communicates and reshapes the field of connection, reinforcing that love and focus are contagious energetic phenomena. Practice grounding before and after heart expansion sessions. Stand with feet planted, knees soft, and imagine roots extending from the soles into the earth. Feel the connection between the expansive energy in the chest and the grounded energy below, allowing balance between upward flow and rooted stability. This dual awareness prevents dissipation of energy while enhancing integration and embodiment of practice. Explore sensory integration to amplify radiance. Light a candle, hold a smooth stone, or feel the texture of fabric while focusing on the heart center. Pair the tactile sensation with silent affirmations of openness and compassion. The combination of multiple sensory channels strengthens the brain's recognition of expanded state and accelerates alignment with the field of coherent love. Commit to a 30-day expansion challenge. Each day, dedicate 5 minutes to heart-focused breathing, visualization, and silent I am affirmations. Track subtle shifts in posture, tone, and relational interactions. Notice small changes in patience, presence, and receptivity. Gradual repetition creates durable neural patterns and reorients habitual attention toward love rather than contraction. Close each session with integration. Place both hands over the chest, breathe deeply, and feel the ripple of energy throughout the body. Imagine radiance extending in all directions, carrying coherence and warmth. Whisper silently, I am love. I am present. I am steady. Feel the alignment between intention, energy, and physical reality. Allow this sensation to remain as a subtle undercurrent as you continue daily life, creating a constant conduit for energy that is both felt and radiated effortlessly. This practice transforms simple awareness into living energy, reshaping perception, enhancing relational feel, and embedding the radiance of love in every breath, thought, and movement, revealing that the heart is not only a vessel for life, but a generator of infinite resonance and quantum possibility. Number 7. Strengthen daily rituals and ground. I am in action. Begin each day with deliberate intention, noticing how small, consistent acts accumulate into profound transformation. For the field responds not to rare spectacle, but to reliable vibration. Bruce Lipton observed, "The moment you change your perception is the moment you rewrite the chemistry of your body, and when that idea settles, it becomes clear that daily rituals are not mere routines, but bridges between thought, energy, and embodiment." Stand quietly and place a hand over the heart, feeling the warmth and subtle rhythm beneath the palm. Then speak softly, I am grounded, I am present, and notice how the vibration moves through posture, breath, and awareness. Let the phrase become an anchor that bridges inner focus with outward action, for energy follows attention and attention shapes reality in practical, observable ways. Identify one small daily ritual that touches body, mind, and spirit, and commit to it with deliberate focus. It could be a 3-minute morning breath sequence, a short walk with mindful observation, or journaling the first thought that arises. Perform it consistently at the same time and place, treating it as a sacred signal to the nervous system that coherence is expected and support. Over time, the body learns to anticipate the practice, creating automatic alignment that extends into tasks, interactions, and even challenges. This automaticity is the hidden engine of transformation, quietly shifting habits without strain. Pair rituals with conscious movement. When rising from bed or walking to your workspace, notice posture, feet meeting the ground, and subtle shifts in weight. Combine these movements with the spoken affirmation, I am capable, I am steady. The body receives a double signal, sound and sensation, amplifying neural patterns that embed the identity of the I am into lived experience. Motion becomes a laboratory for testing alignment, and repeated practice integrates abstract intention into concrete embodiment. Use micro-practices to reinforce ritual coherence throughout the day. When brushing teeth, washing hands, or pausing at a doorway, take one intentional breath, repeat a simple I am phrase, and feel the energy ripple through your body. These tiny interventions interrupt automatic reactivity, cultivate mindfulness, and allow alignment to persist even amidst external distraction. Their cumulative effect is enormous, creating a matrix of energetic calibration woven into ordinary life. Anchor rituals with sensory cues. Select a sound, object, or tactile sensation that signals the beginning of practice, a bell, a smooth stone, or soft fabric, and pair it with the I am statement. When this cue appears, attention shifts immediately, body and mind ready themselves, and the field recognizes the pattern. Over repeated use, the cue alone summons coherence, making practice effortless and sustaining energy throughout the day. Design an evening reflection ritual. Before bed, sit quietly and note 3 moments in which your I am statements manifested in small but real ways: a calm response in conflict, a decisive choice, or a pause that prevented overreaction. Record these observations in precise, sensory terms rather than narrative judgment. This documentation acts as proof of internal transformation, reinforcing neural and energetic pathways and strengthening commitment to the field you are cultivating. Integrate ritual with relational practice. Before interacting with a colleague, friend, or family member, place hands lightly on the heart, take a deliberate breath, and whisper internally, "I am present, I am clear." Observe subtle shifts in posture, tone, and engagement, noting how energy alignment influences relational outcome. The field extends outward. Your coherence catalyzes subtle alignment in others, without force or expectation. Practice conscious transitions. Move between tasks with a brief pause, a single breath, and a short I am statement such as "I am focused," "I am capable," "I am grounded." These transitions act as micro reboots, preventing cumulative stress and maintaining clarity. The nervous system learns that moments of attention are available and reliable, producing smoother transitions, less fatigue, and heightened responsiveness. Incorporate ritualized gratitude. At midday and evening, place a hand over the chest and silently acknowledge one specific success, alignment, or subtle act of grace. This practice shifts chemical and energetic tone, reinforces coherence, and cultivates a receptive state for ongoing transformation. Gratitude acts as both amplifier and stabilizer of energetic focus. Use environment to support ritual embodiment. Arrange your space with cues that signal practice, such as objects that inspire calm, light that invites presence, or textures that remind you to pause. When entering these spaces, allow a subtle "I am" phrase to resonate internally. Environmental triggers strengthen habit and provide immediate access to coherence, reducing friction and reinforcing alignment. Experiment with breath-based rituals for energetic recalibration. Inhale deeply for 4 counts, hold for 2, and exhale for 6 while repeating a short "I am" phrase. Visualize energy descending from the chest into the feet and grounding into the earth. Feel the subtle expansion radiating upward as you inhale again. This oscillation between grounding and expansion reinforces energetic balance, allowing the body to embody calm strength. Combine journaling with vocal practice. Record short audio clips of your daily "I am" statements, and reflect in writing on bodily sensations, emotional tone, and micro-actions that shifted as a result. Observe patterns over time, noting how voice, intention, and behavior align. This dual practice bridges mind and body, and anchors abstract alignment into tangible evidence. Integrate small service actions into daily rituals. Choose one intentional act per day that radiates presence and care: a kind word, assisting someone, or sharing energy silently with intention. Pair each action with a heart-centered "I am" acknowledgement. Witness how outward-directed practice reinforces internal coherence and accelerates alignment with both self and collective field. Practice sensory amplification within rituals. When performing a chosen activity, notice textures, sounds, and visual cues in heightened detail while repeating the "I am" statement. For example, when pouring tea, feel warmth in the cup, observe color, inhale aroma, and silently affirm "I am focused." This simultaneous engagement deepens embodiment, anchors energy, and expands capacity to hold presence amidst complexity. Schedule weekly ritual audits. Review each practice for consistency, impact, and resonance. Adjust timing, duration, or modality to maintain alignment and avoid habituation. Observe subtle shifts in energy, posture, or mood, and note which practices amplify the "I am" frequency most effectively. Continuous refinement sustains growth, prevents stagnation, and ensures that rituals remain alive, relevant, and energetically coherent. Introduce a tactile integration practice. Place both hands over the solar plexus and chest and breathe slowly while vocalizing "I am" statements internally. Feel energy expand between the hands and ripple through the torso. Sense subtle heat, tingling, or vibration. This embodiment anchors both intention and resonance in the nervous system and strengthens the link between thought, breath, and physical sensation. Combine ritual with intentional pause for insight. After completing a practice, sit for 2 minutes observing subtle mental, emotional, and bodily shifts. Allow impressions, ideas, or intuitive nudges to surface without forcing narrative. The field of coherent attention often presents insight in silence, and noticing these impressions reinforces trust in personal alignment and embodied wisdom. Include environmental alignment ritual. Before beginning work or creative activity, adjust lighting, posture, and sensory input while stating "I am present, I am capable." Feel energy settling into clarity and direction. The physical and energetic environment synchronizes with inner state, creating a seamless flow between intention and manifestation. Close daily practice with integration. Stand or sit with feet grounded, palms resting lightly on the chest, and silently acknowledge 3 I am statements, reflecting growth, alignment, and intention. Observe the subtle vibrations through body and feel. Let this sensation linger as a baseline energetic state that carries into rest, interaction, and activity, creating a durable bridge between practice and life. This repeated, multi-layered approach embeds the I am frequency into every action, thought, and environment, transforming ordinary routines into portals of quantum alignment. Daily rituals become living frameworks, grounding intention in embodiment, generating consistent resonance, and establishing a coherent field through which energy, attention, and action converge, revealing that transformation is not a distant goal but the natural outcome of disciplined, heartfelt, and aligned daily practice. Number 8. Reframe old stories and create new quantum pathways. Begin by sitting quietly and bringing to mind one recurring story you tell yourself about limitation, failure, or inadequacy, noticing the emotional charge it carries and the subtle tension it creates in the body. Bruce Lipton once said, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change," and this principle is at the heart of quantum transformation. Perception shapes reality. Observe the story without judgment, feeling the texture of memory, the sensations in the chest, throat, and gut, and recognize that this narrative exists, not as immutable fact, but as a pattern reinforced over time by repetition. Take a slow, deliberate breath and imagine the story as a thread woven into a larger tapestry. Visualize holding the thread lightly in your hands, noticing its color, texture, and weight, then gently unraveling it without force. Each unraveling releases energy previously locked in repetition, creating space for new possibilities to emerge. Allow the body to respond with subtle relaxation as tension dissipates, feeling the nervous system open to fresh alignment. Introduce a reframing phrase aligned with I am. For example, if the story is "I am not enough," replace it internally with "I am growing," "I am capable," or "I am worthy of love." Speak the statement aloud or silently while placing hands over the heart and solar plexus. Notice how vibration interacts with sensation, creating micro shifts in posture, breath, and mental clarity. This pairing of intention with somatic awareness accelerates neural rewiring, reinforcing new quantum pathways. Engage journaling as a complementary tool. Write the old story in detail without censoring. Then immediately beneath, write the new reframed narrative using present tense, affirmative language. Focus on concrete imagery and sensation rather than abstract generalities. For example, "I am resilient" may be paired with "I feel calm in the chest and steady in my legs." This practice bridges memory with new embodied patterns, giving physicality to the imagined transformation. Practice temporal anchoring by placing yourself mentally in a future moment where the reframed story is fully realized. Visualize daily life unfolding with confidence, clarity, and ease, and notice sensations associated with this state: relaxed muscles, smooth breathing, open chest, and steady gaze. Anchor the visualization with a short "I am" affirmation that encapsulates the desired reality, such as "I am confident" or "I am free." Repetition strengthens the brain's predictive model, making new pathways habitual over time. Use breath to enhance energetic integration. Inhale for 4 counts, while sensing expansion into the chest and heart center. Then exhale for 6 counts, imagining tension and old narratives dissolving into light. With each cycle, observe how subtle shifts occur in posture, tone, and internal clarity. Over repeated practice, the breath becomes a bridge linking conscious intention with automatic physiological response, making transformation tangible in the body. Incorporate micro-actions that reinforce the new story. Choose one small behavior each day that reflects the reframed narrative, such as speaking kindly to oneself, asserting a boundary, or completing a previously avoided task. Before action, place a hand on the chest, take a conscious breath, and state, "I am capable." Observe how this pre-action alignment strengthens the energetic pathway between thought and manifestation, demonstrating that small, consistent steps create durable change. Introduce sensory visualization to solidify transformation. Imagine a golden light forming at the heart center, flowing through the chest, spine, and hands, dissolving old energetic knots associated with the past story. Visualize the light, creating bridges to new pathways in the nervous system, enhancing coherence and facilitating fluid action. Feel the energy pulse with each inhale and expand with each exhale, noticing subtle tingling, warmth, or vibration. The sensation itself validates that reframing is not only cognitive, but deeply embodied. Engage relational experiments to test and strengthen new stories. Share the reframed narrative with a trusted friend or mentor. By modeling calm confidence or open communication, observe reactions and subtle shifts in relational dynamics. This external feedback reinforces internal alignment and demonstrates that new patterns ripple beyond the self into the environment, confirming the field-like nature of coherent energy. Use reflective pauses to notice resistance without judgment. When old narratives resurface, place hands on the body regions that feel tension, chest, jaw, gut, and breathe deliberately into them while repeating "I am free. I am aligned." Recognize resistance as energy seeking recognition and transformation rather than as failure. Observing without reactivity cultivates mastery over the emotional charge tied to old patterns. Incorporate movement to reinforce embodied pathways. Stand and gently sway, rotate the torso, or stretch arms overhead while repeating "I am capable" or "I am present." Feel energy flowing from heart to limbs, translating reframed narrative into somatic experience. Movement amplifies integration, allowing new stories to inhabit not only mind but posture, musculature, and gesture, making them real in the physical dimension. Establish a daily ritual of micro-reflection. At 3 moments during the day, morning, midday, and evening, pause for 30 seconds. Notice any default narratives arising, and replace them with a conscious "I am" statement. Observe shifts in tone, breath, and energy. Apply micro-gratitude to reinforce change. Consciously acknowledge one example each day where the new story manifests: a calm response, a thoughtful choice, or a spontaneous act of creativity. Place hands over the heart and repeat silently, "I am grateful for this evolution." Gratitude amplifies energetic coherence, signaling to the quantum field that the transformation is welcomed and embodied. Introduce environmental cues to maintain alignment. Place a small object, symbol, or visual reminder where it will be encountered during the day. Upon noticing it, take a breath and repeat a brief "I am" phrase associated with the reframed story. The cue acts as a trigger, reminding the nervous system of intention, and strengthens the habitual expression of the new pattern. Practice creative visualization through journaling. Draw or sketch representations of energy flowing through old narratives, dissolving into light, forming new pathways that connect mind, body, and heart. Focus on sensation, rhythm, and form rather than artistic accuracy. The act of visual creation reinforces neural pathways while giving the imagination a physical outlet. Use intentional social reframing. When interacting with familiar people who have reinforced old narratives, practice observing emotional reactions without judgment and consciously respond with clarity anchored in "I am" statement. Over time, relational dynamics shift, and old feedback loops weaken as energy aligns with new pathways rather than repeating conditioned stories. End each session with integration. Sit quietly, breathe into the chest, feel energy ripple through the body, and silently acknowledge 3 "I am" statements. Reflecting new alignment, notice how subtle postural, emotional, and cognitive shifts persist after practice. This integration ensures that reframed stories are not only conceptual but embodied, habitual, and expressed in both private experience and external action. Over time, repeated practice of observing old narratives, reframing with "I am," and embedding new micro-actions creates a durable transformation. Energy once locked in limiting patterns dissolves, and new quantum pathways form, linking intention, awareness, and physical embodiment. Reality shifts, not because of force but because coherent attention reshapes probability. Old stories no longer dominate the field. They are replaced by aligned living narratives that manifest in thought, action, and subtle energy, revealing the infinite potential of deliberate, conscious, and embodied choice. Number 9. Trust divine order and walk fearless in higher purpose. Stand quietly and feel the ground beneath your feet, sensing the subtle connection between body, gravity, and earth. As this awareness anchors trust in forces far larger than thought. Albert Einstein once reflected, "The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious, and when this wisdom is fully felt, it becomes clear that surrender to divine order is not passive, but a dynamic engagement with the field of infinite potential." Close your eyes and take 3 slow, deliberate breaths, noticing the flow of energy in the chest, the rise and fall of shoulders, the subtle tension in hands and jaw, and let awareness settle in the center of being. Fear dissolves into clarity. Recognize that the field always responds to coherent presence, and your alignment with higher purpose is an energetic choice more than a cognitive one. Begin with an intentional acknowledgement of uncertainty. Feel the tension that arises when outcomes are unknown. Then place hands lightly on the heart, and repeat silently, I am guided, I am steady, I am aligned. Allow the breath to carry the statement into body and subtle field, noticing the way calm spreads through the chest, spine and abdomen. The nervous system learns that alignment and safety can coexist, even in unpredictability, and each repetition strengthens the capacity to act without fear. Visualize the current of life as a river flowing effortlessly around obstacles. See yourself standing in the water, feeling it rise gently to the ankles, knees and waist as you progress. Each step represents surrender, not passivity, a conscious movement aligned with intelligence greater than immediate comprehension. Sense how resistance softens when you match your rhythm to the flow, how tension in muscles releases, and how mental clarity expands. Walking within this metaphor, you experience the essence of divine order in direct bodily terms. Integrate daily rituals to reinforce this alignment. Begin the morning with a brief grounding exercise. Inhale while visualizing light descending from the sky, filling the crown and chest. Exhale, imagining roots extending from the feet deep into the earth. Speak aloud a simple I am phrase, such as I am guided, I am fearless, allowing the words to resonate with both breath and posture. The combination of visualization, vocalization and embodiment signals to the nervous system that presence and alignment are primary states, shaping perception and behavior for the day. Practice micro-reflections during transition. Before entering meetings, conversations, or tasks, take a single conscious breath, center attention in the chest, and repeat silently, I am aligned with divine order. Observe subtle shifts in posture, tone, and mental clarity. These brief interruptions recalibrate energy, preventing habitual reactivity and reinforcing a field of coherence around intention and purpose. Over time, small pauses compound into continuous energetic alignment that informs every interaction. Engage with discomfort consciously. When fear, doubt, or impatience arises, place attention on the sensation without judgment. Identify location, texture, and intensity, and allow the breath to expand into it while repeating I am steady, I am guided. Resistance transforms into feedback rather than obstacle, revealing areas where attention, energy, and action require adjustment. This practice cultivates resilience and teaches the nervous system that trust in divine order does not require certainty, but consistent alignment with inner coherence. Incorporate movement to embody purpose. Walk slowly while imagining each step aligned with higher intention, feeling the weight shift through feet, knees, and spine. With each step, silently affirm, I am guided, I am capable, and notice how energy circulates through the body, activating courage and presence. Motion integrates intention with physiology, creating lasting neural patterns that reinforce fearless action. Even small steps taken with conscious alignment shift probability within the subtle field. Use relational practice to expand influence. Approach interactions with friends, colleagues, or strangers from a place of quiet alignment. Place attention in the heart center. Breathe, and silently repeat I am aligned with purpose. Observe subtle shifts in tone, posture, and responsiveness in both yourself and others. Energy radiates outward, shaping the field around you, demonstrating that coherence and trust in divine order extend beyond the self into the collective space. Engage journaling as a reflection of alignment. Each evening, write down moments when fear arose and note how conscious alignment allowed movement despite it. Include bodily sensations, choices, and outcomes without judgment. Record subtle successes as evidence of energetic coherence. This practice transforms subjective experience into observable patterns, reinforcing trust and clarifying higher purpose through tangible reflection. Integrate sensory anchoring. Choose a tactile object, a smooth stone, piece of fabric, or crystal that represents alignment and divine support. During moments of uncertainty, hold the object, breathe deeply, and repeat I am steady, I am guided. Notice immediate shifts in posture, mental tone, and subtle energy. Sensory anchoring creates a reliable conduit for alignment, transforming abstract trust into embodied experience. Introduce a light visualization for clarity and direction. Imagine a beam of radiant energy descending from above into the crown, flowing into the heart, filling the chest and expanding outward, illuminating pathways ahead. With each inhale, draw light deeper into body and awareness. With each exhale, radiate calm and trust into the surrounding space. Visualize obstacles dissolving into luminous energy and feel fear replaced by presence and clarity. This practice reinforces alignment with purpose and strengthens energetic resilience. Employ micro-affirmations during action. While performing tasks, pause briefly, center in the chest, and whisper, "I am capable, I am aligned, I am fearless." Observe subtle changes in tone, breath, and focus, and notice the field of action shifting to match coherent energy. Repetition bridges thought, attention, and behavior, embedding fearless alignment as a natural state rather than occasional effort. Combine breath and vocalization for energetic recalibration. Inhale slowly and deeply. Exhale with a soft-spoken "I am" phrase that resonates with higher purpose. Feel vibration move through chest, throat, and head, harmonizing internal and subtle fields. This practice anchors confidence and trust in both tangible and energetic realms, producing coherent influence that extends beyond the individual. Introduce reflective pauses before decision. When facing uncertainty, close eyes for 3 breaths, place hands on chest, and silently affirm, "I am guided, I am capable." Notice intuition, bodily sensations, and subtle shifts in thought. Decisions made from aligned presence carry clarity and reduce friction, demonstrating that trust in divine order is inseparable from embodied awareness. Engage micro-practice of surrender and observation. Throughout the day, when plans encounter unexpected obstacles, pause, breathe, and consciously allow outcomes to unfold, while maintaining internal alignment. Repeat silently, "I am aligned, I am steady, I am fearless." Observe how letting go of control in favor of presence transforms emotional and energetic response, opening space for creative solutions and flow previously inaccessible under resistance. Close daily alignment sessions with integration. Sit or stand, place hands over heart and solar plexus, breathe slowly, and acknowledge 3 silent "I am" statements reflecting trust, alignment, and fearless action. Feel subtle vibrations ripple through body and field, and allow energy to linger, establishing a baseline state for ongoing engagement. Integration ensures alignment becomes habitual, not intermittent, transforming ordinary activity into conscious co-creation with the field of higher purpose. Over time, repeated practice of breath, focus, micro-actions, sensory anchoring, and reflection cultivates unwavering trust in divine order. Energy once scattered by doubt or fear coheres, neural and subtle pathways reinforce alignment, and the individual naturally moves through life with fearless presence. Higher purpose is no longer abstract but experienced as embodied guidance, influencing thought, behavior, and subtle energy. This integration demonstrates that trust, when grounded in practice and coherence, manifests as fearless movement through life, harmonizing personal intention with universal intelligence, and opening continuous access to aligned creation. Number 10. Live I am frequency, and embody endless daily renewal. Sit quietly and feel the rhythm of your breath as it moves through your body, noticing the subtle rise and fall of the chest, the flow of air through the nostrils, and the gentle pulse beneath the hands. Greg Braden once shared, "The quantum field responds to the vibrations of your heart, and when that truth is sensed, it becomes obvious that living the I am frequency is less about thinking and more about feeling, embodying and radiating a coherent energetic state." Close your eyes and place one hand over your heart and one over your solar plexus, feeling warmth and subtle pressure, sensing how energy can expand without effort, and allowing a deep exhale to release any tension that anchors the past. Begin each morning by consciously speaking I am statements aloud or silently, choosing phrases that resonate with renewal, abundance, and clarity. For example, "I am vibrant, I am aligned, I am evolving." As the words are spoken, notice the vibration traveling through the chest, spine, and hands, and sense subtle changes in posture, focus, and awareness. Repetition anchors the frequency in both mind and body, creating a natural resonance that carries throughout the day. Each statement becomes a living signal that the field recognizes, shifting probabilities toward coherence and expansion. Visualize a sphere of luminous energy forming at your heart center, expanding outward with every inhale and radiating through the entire body with every exhale. Feel the light moving through muscles, joints, and connective tissue, infusing each cell with vitality and alertness. Sense the light extending beyond skin, enveloping your personal space, and blending with the environment in a seamless field of alignment. The sphere is both anchor and amplifier, making the I am frequency tangible, measurable, and embodied, Integrate micro practices throughout daily activities. While walking, eating, or performing routine tasks, place attention in the heart or chest center. Take one conscious breath and repeat a short I am phrase. Observe subtle shifts in mental clarity, emotional tone, and physical ease. Small, repeated interventions throughout the day reinforce energetic coherence more effectively than occasional long sessions. Energy accumulates, neural pathways strengthen, and the body learns to inhabit the frequency naturally. Engage reflective journaling as a tool for reinforcement. Each evening, write down 3 moments where I am statements aligned thought, emotion, and action. Include bodily sensations, relational observations, and micro changes in perception. Focus on concrete, sensory experience, rather than abstract judgment. Over time, this practice converts subtle energetic shifts into observable evidence, increasing trust in your ability to live the I am frequency consistently. Practice breath-based embodiment. Inhale deeply for 4 counts, hold for 2, and exhale for 6, while silently repeating I am aligned, or I am renewed. Visualize energy moving downward through the torso into the legs and feet, then circulating back up into the chest and head. The oscillation between grounding and expansion balances subtle and physical energy, creating resilience, alertness, and a sense of constant renewal. Over repeated practice, the nervous system and subtle field internalize coherence as a default state. Introduce movement to amplify energetic flow. Stretch arms overhead, rotate the torso, or sway gently while maintaining focus on the I am frequency. Notice how the vibration moves through muscles, joints, and fascia, synchronizing body, mind, and subtle energy. Motion allows integration of energy that may remain dormant during static meditation, reinforcing embodiment and enabling seamless application during daily activity. Each movement becomes both practice and proof of alignment. Use sensory anchoring to maintain coherence. Choose a tactile object, sound, or visual cue such as a crystal, bell, or image that resonates with renewal and vitality. During moments of distraction or fatigue, hold the object or focus on the cue. Take a conscious breath and silently repeat I am statements. Observe shifts in posture, tone, and attention, noticing how the field responds instantaneously to coherent signal. Sensory triggers convert abstract intention into immediate physical and energetic realignment. Engage relational practices to radiate I am frequency outward. Before conversations or interactions, center attention in the heart, take a breath, and silently affirm I am present, I am clear, I am aligned. Observe subtle changes in your tone, posture, and energy, and notice effects on the person you are interacting with. Coherence extends naturally into relational fields, demonstrating that living the I am frequency is not isolated, but dynamically influential. Incorporate reflective micropauses. At multiple points during the day, pause for 1 or 2 breaths, bring awareness to the chest, and silently repeat I am statements. Observe emotional and mental states, noticing tension or clarity. Small pauses serve as reset points, allowing energy to recalibrate without disrupting activity. Over time, these interventions compound, creating a baseline of constant alignment that supports effortless daily renewal. Use visualization to deepen energetic embodiment. Imagine a wave of light rising from the heart with each inhale, washing through limbs, spine, and head, dissolving residual tension and filling every cell with clarity. On exhale, imagine light expanding into the environment, blending with the subtle field, creating a seamless connection between inner coherence and external reality. Feel the continuous cycle of renewal, expansion, and integration, reinforcing that I am frequency is both lived and broadcast. Practice gratitude as a stabilizer of coherence. Each day, acknowledge 3 specific moments where living the I am frequency brought clarity, alignment, or peace. Place a hand over the heart and silently affirm I am grateful for this expansion. Gratitude amplifies energy, strengthens neural and energetic pathways, and provides feedback that reinforces alignment, demonstrating that recognition of success solidifies frequency integration. Introduce intentional reflection on challenges. When difficulties arise, pause, breathe, and place attention in the chest while repeating I am resilient, or I am capable. Observe subtle emotional, mental, and physical shifts. Notice how resistance softens, clarity increases, and new possibilities appear. Challenges are not interruptions but active opportunities to test, refine, and reinforce I am embodiment. Engage in environmental alignment. Arrange workspace or living areas with objects, lighting, or cues that signal focus, clarity, and renewal. When entering these spaces, place attention in the heart, take a breath, and silently affirm I am alive. The environment amplifies practice, reduces friction, and provides repeated reminders to inhabit the I am frequency effortlessly throughout daily life. Incorporate creative expression. Draw, dance, or write while focusing attention in the heart and silently repeating I am statement. Notice how creativity flows with ease, energy feels expansive, and embodiment deepens. Creative practices act as extensions of energetic alignment, reinforcing neural and subtle patterns that anchor I am frequency in both thought and action. Close each session with integration. Sit quietly, place hands over heart and solar plexus, breathe slowly, and silently acknowledge 3 I am affirmations reflecting alignment, vitality, and ongoing renewal. Notice subtle vibrations throughout body, subtle field and relational space. Let the sensation linger as a foundational energetic baseline that carries into interactions, activity, and rest, ensuring coherence is continuous rather than intermittent. Over weeks and months, repeated practice of breath, visualization, micro pauses, relational focus, sensory anchoring, and reflective journaling cultivates permanent access to I am frequency. Energy once scattered by distraction or doubt coheres, neural and subtle pathways reinforce alignment, and the individual experiences daily renewal as natural rhythm rather than occasional occurrence. Living the I am frequency becomes effortless, habitual, and radiantly visible, transforming thought, emotion, action, and subtle energy, revealing the infinite potential of conscious embodiment and perpetual self-renewal. Now you hold the keys to 10 powerful practices that can reshape your reality at the deepest level. Begin by awakening your I am power to access eternal strength, claim your true self to dissolve hidden limits, and align with the present energy to embody pure awareness. Seat I am daily to activate quantum transformation, embrace silence to enter infinite flow, and expand your heart to radiate love in every breath. Strengthen daily rituals to ground I am in action, reframe old stories to create new quantum pathways, trust divine order to walk fearless in higher purpose, and live the I am frequency to experience endless daily renewal. Each chapter is designed to rewire perception, unlock hidden potential, and merge thought, emotion, and action into a coherent, energetic field. Apply these steps consciously every day and watch reality bend to your intention. Subscribe now. Your next video unveils a crucial audiobook that will accelerate your quantum awakening like nothing else.